For LGBTQ communities, unfortunately, we have experiences with violence on, an all too frequent basis. And I think, for community, it always raises questions about safety, around connection. And it's, really important for us, particularly as we head into a Pride weekend, that folks feel that sense of community and support as we all navigate, a shared space of grief. So if you look at like the FBI statistics around, just risk of, violence and, violent crimes, LGBTQ folks and trans folks in particular have a heightened risk. And a lot of that's just due to an overall climate that both, discriminates directly against LGBTQ folks, but also puts them in positions where they're more isolated and don't have the same levels of support or don't have the same connective supportive systems around them. And so, I think there's both that immediate layer, but also the systemic layer that can impact people's safety and well-being in many different ways. I think it's really important both that, any serious crime is fully investigated and that people have the justice that they need and seek in these cases. But I think it's really important from a community lens for folks to be able to feel a sense of closure that these were handled respectfully and that, folks were given dignity through the process. Unfortunately for LGBTQ folks, sometimes during these processes, whether it's through the court proceedings or through, investigation of it, there can be pieces that can be very uncomfortable or very harmful to community. And so when that's not done thoughtfully, that can cause incidental harm to our communities that goes beyond just the immediate and real harm to the victim and their families and friends.